ladies in the middle. Checks back against Carter and scores. That is atypical for the Amina Margot.
Quickly gets it back again. Oh, what a goal! Well, that sums up her season. The Gunners are WSL champions.
Welcome back, everyone, to another Vic Akers Wonderland Podcast. 2 games to go through tonight. Our safe passage through to the League Cup semi-final and the small matter of a London derby at Stamford Bridge. And to join me to discuss this is, of course, the lovely Lottie. The magnificent Matt in the Hat can't be with us tonight, but we shall soldier on without him. Lottie, happy Friday. Glad the week's over. Looking forward to the big one this weekend.
Yeah, I'm glad the week's over. Long, very slow week. Kind of wish I was watching the girls on Wednesday night rather than being at the Men's Champions League. But hey ho. Yeah, no. Feeling good. Long week. How are you?
Pretty good. We should say you at the Champions League. It was a win. It was
Yes.
in, Rice, Kai, and Odegaard with the goals. I mean, that's not a bad night out.
I mean, we scored in the first sort of 2 minutes and set piece, ole as usual.
Mm.
And then I had to wait ages for my next goals, which were up the other end, which thankfully was the side where the shorter gentleman who sit in front of me was, so I actually saw it. As for the Zagreb fans, they're disgraceful. Like,
Yeah, I saw the
throwing
pictures. And
plastic bottles and stuff, and I was like, I'm going to put this analogy out there. Like, if an Arsenal fan sat there, lit their e-cigarette, lit a fag, we'd be thrown out straight away.
Yeah.
Yet they let them do that.
We've seen. We know we're veering word, of course, but I do know that I've seen certainly when fans come in with flares and fireworks. I saw pictures of certain salutes in this instance, and it's just not nice. But hey,
but they started throwing stuff up at club level once they realised they couldn't get past the riot police. Sorry, we veered completely off subject.
Scary stuff. Thankfully, at Brighton's ground, there were no such shenanigans as far as we're aware.
Of course not. Like I know we go out on our number over on the away sections and they sell them out, but we know how to behave ourselves.
Absolutely. Before we begin, we'll just start with our little question to warm up, and it's a bit of a funny one. We all remember last season we went to Chelsea. The game was synonymous not for what happened on the pitch, but for what happened in the 30 minutes before on the pitch. With some socks. So, Lottie, in your opinion, what is the worst Arsenal kit you've ever experienced? Or what's the one kit let's talk about kits. What's the one Arsenal kit you wish, I wouldn't have worn that?
Do you know what? It's a really tough one because there's a few, like anything with Puma on it.
Really?
I don't own any of the Puma kits. Nope. That is one big gap in my collection. I own one because it's because of the person who bought it for me, and that was my last shirt they ever bought before they passed.
Yeah.
But I don't own any of the other ones.
Was that in sort of 1819, sort of 1978? Was that the one where you had the mint away kit and the?
Yep, the one that looked like a bottle of Listerine, and then you had the black one with the pink collar.
And the one that had armbands on, looked like with the pink strips. Yeah. The problem is
anything Puma put their fingers on wouldn't touch a barge pole.
Problem I have with that mint kit is that we won the league. The women won the league in that kit, so it's sort of become good because of the success around it, even though it's a kit.
Absolutely, I get that from that point of view, and I've actually considered adding it to my collection, but because you can get authentics for like less than £50 on eBay. If you look and you know what you're looking for, and you get the right quality, but it's a case of finding them blank, because otherwise you've actually got to put some work in. I have a very good friend of mine that will do the work for me, just to get it all changed and source the women's name sets, thankfully. But yeah, I'm a bit hesitant because I don't want to look like a bottle of Listerine.
My one I don't like, and it's probably quite controversial because I know it's quite popular, but there was a one we had, I think it was in 21-22, it was an away kit, and it was like a bluey, blacky sort of one with like zigzags on.
Oh, the recreation of the 98 kit, the lightning.
I never vibed that one. I think it's the one. I think we
No?
wore it to Brentford and we lost 2-0. I think it was worn in that game, but
Yeah, it was because we just dropped it that weekend.
yeah.
I do own that. I do own that one, but it gives me a headache looking at it. So it's to stay safely in the cupboard.
No, that one I didn't vibe. But then again, I'm more of a home shirt sort of person. So
yes, we know how bad your home shirt gets before you replace it.
I'm all about the red and white. We'll move on to Brighton 0, Arsenal 4. Literally a tale of two halves. I only saw the first half, which probably explains why there were no goals.
They knew you weren't watching.
Absolutely. I unfortunately had commitments elsewhere that evening. You since caught up on the highlights, was able to sort of half follow it while I was on my commitments. Goals from Fred Lottermornham, Katie McCabe, Kyra Cooney-Cross and Mariona Caldente turned what I thought was going to be a bit of a nerve shredder into a procession, basically, into the semi-final. As far as I know, going into this game, I knew that Brighton had a very strong record at Crawley's ground this season. They'd been unbeaten, I think, in 90 minutes. And they've been pretty good this season in the league. So I thought we've got a tough one. Anything but. Lottie, some of the goals, I mean, what were your thoughts? I mean, we'll start with the Frida goal. Bit of a mare by the keeper.
Yeah, absolute mare. Like, why would you roll it straight out to Mariona? It doesn't make sense. No. Like, Mariona being Mariona, straight in there, squares it, and it's in by Frida. We've been waiting for a Frida goal for the last couple of games, and I'm just so glad she's got it, because this is exactly what she needs before this weekend.
Are you surprised it wasn't a screamer? It was a tap in. It was a very un-Frida goal.
You know what? It's very un-Frida-esque, but a goal is a goal.
Yeah.
And if you look at it, it's the set pieces kicking in, and that's what we need, and that's what we lacked in previous seasons.
I like this goal because it was a mistake by the keeper, but she's playing it to defender. But I love the alertness of Mariona, that she's sprinted in at such pace. She's noticed that the ball out is undercooked and she can steal it, and darts into the box, has the awareness to see Frida sideways for a tap in, and from that moment on, the goal just rained in. Katie McCabe with a brilliant.
The intelligence from her in that pass was just. It was unbelievable. I mean, absolutely. We haven't had a player like that since inform Viv.
Yeah, I would say so.
And that's before her ACL.
Yeah, I'd agree. That is very much a Viv move to tap it sideways. I can definitely see that, and we may talk about that in a bit. Katie McCabe made it 2-0. I love this goal because it's tapping stuff, but it's the passing and movement around the box. Kim Little down the side to Russo, low cross for the box. McCabe taps it in, 2-0. Again, it's liquid football, I believe is the term.
It's very much a team goal, and then that's what you want to see. You don't want someone just putting their head down and charging, very much like we saw from sort of Rosa at Crystal Palace. It's also a case of, I think the best part of that goal was to Kate McCabe. She sort of just back heel taps it in, and it just
right foot.
Just like, yeah,
she has got a right foot.
Exactly.
I'm loving it.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful and it's instinctive, and that's what I said. I said it with the Beth Mead goal at the weekend. Instinctive football is so much better on the eye, and it's so hard to defend against. 3-0, the moment we've all been waiting for. I think we've waited a long time for this. I know, Lottie, you're a big fan of Kyra. There was only one way she was going to open an account for Arsenal, and top bin rocket. Again, Mariona in the build-up, but a superb finish from our delightful little Aussie.
Oh yeah, no, it was sublime. I mean, she's kind of opened her account at Southampton.
Yeah, and a friendly, and it was again
I missed that one, and I've missed this one live, so I'm a bit annoyed. But yeah, it was an absolute cracker of a goal. I mean, the thing is, we know Leah Volti has the odd goal in her. We know Kimmy does penalties and the odd goal in her, but we need a few more goals in the middle of the park. Yeah. If Kyra has the opportunity, she needs to take it.
Yeah, and I think she's been trying in the last few games, but this was an absolute peach. And when I was watching that back, I was like, oh my goodness, it's finally happened. It's happening meme. It's everything. I thought it was a superb goal. And that was all within a 5-minute period. In 5 minutes, Arsenal put 3 goals past Brighton.
3 goals in 3 minutes.
3 goals in 3 minutes, rather.
Yep.
Just unbelievable. There was still time for one
I
more.
think at this point, it was half time, the men's game. They were reading the rest of the scores out, and then the women's score came up, and whoever's left in their seat, I think it was just a really nice touch. They were actually cheering that they were winning 3-0, and I was really like, whoa.
That's
I
quite
wasn't
cool.
expecting that. I thought it would just be me on my own, you know?
Yeah, but it's quite cool that they were showing, because the instinct would have been to, it's a Champions League game, which is to show.
Yeah, they'd done that after the other games that are going on in Champions League, say like City, etc. But they put that at last because of that one club mentality. The women are playing. This is the score. They're winning 3-0 as well.
Oh, so it wasn't all the other League Cup games. It was just Arsenal games.
It was just the Arsenal game. Yeah,
that's pretty cool. No, that's brilliant.
I know.
Fair play to them.
The fact that you had the fans go, "Hey!" It was just like
absolutely.
Right, no. Especially at a men's game, that is something that's pretty cool.
And maybe that'll make we'll see. Well, maybe some of them might think to come to the next round. There was, as I said, time for a fourth goal, and I think it was only right that Mariona get him a score sheet. And this, Lottie, was a superb bit of, again, instinctive art, whatever you call it. Cross comes in, keeper flaps at it, punches it into the box, and first time Mariona sees the keeper off her line and just executes the most wonderful of chips into the back of the net.
I've watched that chip in the last sort of half an hour, about 7 or 8, maybe 7 to 11 times. And it's absolutely sublime. I don't know what the keeper was doing. The net was open, so Mariona must have thought, why not?
Absolutely. The 3-0 up, why not?
Sport can't be an art, but Mariona makes sport an art.
Absolutely.
Of her talent, I tell you. It's just so exciting to watch.
I think she's really starting to grow into this Arsenal team, and Rene's getting a bit more out of her, and I think she's really starting to showcase her talents, and I think that's absolutely fantastic. And the great thing about Mariona is, and this is going to lead me on the next point, which was our new sponsor for the not our sponsor, but the competition sponsor, Subway, have a new award, and it's appropriately called Sub of the Match. How on earth did they come to this? I don't know if you've seen this, Lottie. Awards for the best substitute of the round. And Mariona came off the bench after 56 minutes, along with Emily Fox for Beth Mead and Katie Reid. Comes off the bench, sets up 2 goals and scores myself, and wins this Sub of the Match award. So is this something you think will, is it deserved, obviously, out of all the rounds? And do you think it's something that will catch on? Do you think this is something that the future, we've got Player of the Match, and now we're going to have Sub of the Match?
Yeah, I think it's like with the Player of the Match, I find that it's all the regular popular names that get picked. Even if they were playing for 45 minutes, it will still be that person after a second half. And that slightly annoyed me because I feel like the people who do come off the bench and have phenomenal games, like Mariona did against Brighton, they don't get the recognition, if that makes sense.
No,
because if I remember rightly, the voting system's based on from 45 to 60 minutes.
Yeah, so if there are different players of the matches, but there's one which is, so there's the supporters club, and they vote on it. There's a vote that goes on live about 6-7 minutes in, but then there's one. This one I think is done by Subway themselves. They're probably
I wasn't sure if it was still that or if it was the supporters club.
Yeah, but it's that, and I think there's one the broadcasters do as well. They'll choose their
okay, because do you know what? I just can't keep up with it. 1 minute it's this person, it's like
it's too many.
Can we not put this all as one thing, you know?
Because when Lena Hurtig got her winner against Juventus in the Champions League, I thought, give her the Player of the Match for that. Yeah, and I don't think so, because again, she came on too late. But if there'd been a Sub of the Match award, 100% give it to Lena.
No, exactly. But it's new, it's different, and I don't see why not.
Have we fully converted you to the Sub Cup yet?
No, it's still the Conti Cup. I've still got my Conti Cup t-shirt on. Look, it's got the Conti Cup ribbons on it. And Katie's drinking out of it, so no.
Another thing that did happen was there was another substitution, which was Kim Little coming on for Leah Volti right in the first half, and it was Volti hit the ground. She was waving to the medics. It was a bit of a concern. Turns out it was a precaution, but she's absolutely fine. But it was a bit of a cloud at the end of the game. But thankfully Volti is fit for the weekend. Some interesting stats actually. Again, the first half I wasn't that impressed with us. We really struggled to break through Brighton. Bruce had a header straight at the keeper. and that was really the only effort. Weird game actually. Russo didn't actually score.
That was the only highlights.
Yeah, Russo didn't even get a goal. She hit the post, I think, at the start of the second half. Obviously set up McCabe's goal, but a rare
she got an assist though.
Got an assist, but a rare blank in front of goal for Russo. But Arsenal actually had 16 shots on goal compared to Brighton's 2. But a bit more interestingly, 7 on target from us.
Target?
Exactly, 7 on target for us. 0.
That's better than the men's, from what I saw. They had 11 shots on target and 2 on target. They're doing a lot better than the boys.
0 goals on shots on target for Brighton in that game. Manu didn't have a save to make in the entire game, which again to go away to Brighton, which I think again I say are a decent side, and to absolutely dominate them into the ground on that front, I think is very, very, very impressive, and again has me excited for what this team is capable of, because I don't think this is a new manager bounce. I think this is a team that is genuinely playing at their level, and I don't think they have been playing at the level. They certainly weren't during the final sort of weeks, months of Jonas. And I think when we talk about our players and rate our players, and maybe sort of wise after the event, and we was towards the end of last season, and maybe this season we're thinking, that player's not going to do it, this player's not good enough, and you just think. I think now maybe we forget sometimes actually how much talent we have, especially when we look at the other teams and who they got. And I think maybe we forget a lot of our players are very, very talented, or can be very, very talented, and maybe we're finally seeing that. Because of that result, Arsenal are through to the League Cup semi-final, which will be played either on the 5th or the 6th of February. Manchester City, they knocked out Manchester United at the LSV, so got revenge for their weekend disaster class at the Etihad. So therefore, Arsenal will play Manchester City at Meadow Park.
I wonder if we'll get a lovely Stina replay.
Well, this is the thing. Arsenal have played Manchester City quite a few times in the League Cup. There's obviously the 1-0 we know of. Obviously, the Stina
and the season before we played them two, because the season before was where Chloe Kelly had a fight with a corner flag. So the last 2 seasons, it's like the third time.
No. Last season, no. So last season was Aston Villa with the Stina hat trick, and the season before was the Stina winner in injury time. So
Sorry.
The other time, they all blur into one. The other time I think we had him was at Meadow Park was, I believe, in 2015, and that was a quarter final. I believe it was Natalia with a winner in a 1-0 win, but that's going way back. Chelsea will play West Ham United. West Ham knocked out Spurs, which is always nice, and Chelsea, unsurprisingly,
got another London derby, eh?
Yeah, well, the curiosity is it's actually a match-up, so a repeat of 22-23. And we all know how that all fed up to the end.
We all know, we ended up at Selhurst.
Unfortunately, we're the finals at Derby's Pride Park this time around, so the parallels end there. But hopefully, Arsenal, if they can get past Manchester City, they will be in the cup final again, which is always nice. So we'll wait to see when the tickets go on.
To Derby.
Well, I've been to Derby, and I'm going back there next month.
I've been to football ground as well, so
I'm hoping to go back to Pride Park for a 3rd time this year, or 4th time this year, however this works out. So, it'll be 5 times actually I'll be doing it this year. That'll be quite bonkers in the end if it all goes as I hope it will. But that's a great night for the Arsenal.
2 long months yet.
2 long months yet, but a good night for the Arsenal away at Brighton. Chelsea to come, but we'll just break through the news very quickly. So a few things have come up. Firstly, Freya Godfrey is on loan. She's left the club to go on loan for the rest of the season. Will be at City Lionesses alongside Taya Goldie. Wishing them both the best. There is obviously a side story to this, which is to make room for Freya's arrival. Ruth Littlejohn has departed by mutual consent. There are people who will see this as a major story. I don't, but there are people who find this very funny. Whatever, yes, okay, Lottie is. Again, what that doesn't interest me, but each their own.
No, I just find it funny. That's all it is. There's no context to it.
Wish hopefully Rusha can find another club soon. Like I said to you, I've spoken to some Irish friends of mine, and they say that very talented player. Funniest comment I would say is actually Shibanu, who said that she had more clubs than a golfer, based on her club history. So I thought, which is what was very, very funny. Some interesting anniversaries. So you may have noticed on social media, 1 year to the day since Leah made her comeback from racial injury against Reading. I was there for that. It was a very special evening, 6-0 in the League Cup at the Select Car Leasing Stadium. But the biggest cheer of the night was when Leah Williamson came onto the pitch. And I believe it was also Yen Beattie, recently retired Yen Beattie's last game for Arsenal. I think they may have come off the bench for Beattie as it happened. So
Yes.
1 year on, and obviously now Leah's off the mark as well. She got a goal against Crystal Palace last weekend, which is great. Another interesting anniversary, and to say we are recording this on the 24th of January. 18 years to this day, Renee Slayhurst played her first game for Arsenal, coming off the bench in a London County Cup tie against West Ham United. And if you want to know a bit more about that, you can check out my latest article on the Halfway Line, where I go a bit more in depth on this. Shameless plug, move on. In transfer news, Naomi Girma has sadly not joined the Arsenal. She has gone to Chelsea. She will be unveiled this weekend at the game, but won't be playing, so we will be spared having to get past her. But Lottie, annoyed that this one hasn't come to us at Arsenal?
Yeah, that familiar vacuum for Chelsea has found its way over to the women's game. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
And I think you touched on this earlier, Mike. We need to remember who we've got in our team and the amount of talent we have. We're seeing City sign players like Carolyn. We're seeing Naomi Girma coming in.
Yeah,
it doesn't mean we don't want to compete, because we are competing. We've not lost. We're still on that good run at the minute. I'm a bit hesitant about going to the Bridge, because they don't lose there. But
I could think. Well, I get to in a minute. I know
we couldn't recruit better, but it's a case of I feel like we're playing within the rules of FFP. That's what I feel anyway. If you look at the amount of money Chelsea are spending, like in the last year or so, it's like.
If we just
what's
talk
mad
about,
is we make more revenue than they do.
Well, there was a report that came out, a financial report that said, I think was it Barcelona? Was it we were
joint
Barcelona? It makes you think. Someone was telling me if we got into the Champions League and not gone out of penalties to Paris, we would have topped that. We would have been another trophy, which is always nice. The money revenue trophy for Arsenal, along with the attendance trophy and the League Cup. So that's a treble already. So I was going to I'll tell you what was we were trying to get to there. You just blew my train of thought.
I'm sorry.
That's fine. We should just shout out for the tickets coming up, which is West Ham United at Meadow Park. Game is on the 2nd of March, 5:30 kickoff now, is at Meadow Park. Despite some misinformation elsewhere. Tickets go on sale on the 4th of February at 2:00. And also,
if the website doesn't crash.
If the website doesn't crash, which unfortunately due to the high demand, which is great, it does tend to. London City Lionesses, 9th of February, if we beat Bristol City in the FA Cup. We have London. The interesting thing with London City Lionesses, I don't know if Ted Goldie and Fred Godfrey will be cup tied or not. If it's because it will come down to having an agreement with Arsenal if they'll let them. But that's something to bear in mind at least. I was going to say, obviously on the talent one, obviously we should be grateful. We've got Emily Fox, so at least we've got her in our ranks, and I think we're very grateful. We have her. And moving on to Stamford Bridge, and one person I want to talk about is one of our own is of course Mariona, who I think we all agree was rather good against Brighton. Interesting thing about Mariona, she has a 100% record every time she's been to Stamford Bridge. She's won on all of her visits. The last two, admittedly, they were with Barcelona, but at least Arsenal know they've got somebody in their ranks who knows how to ruin Chelsea's day at their own ground. Now, Mariona came to Arsenal obviously in the summer, and there were some comments made by Jonas Heidelberg sort of around Mariona coming to Arsenal and they're departing, and there was a choice, and it was all a part of his interviews he's been doing as part of being the new San Diego Wave manager, which caused a bit of a stir as he seems to do on social media. And I know some people are very unhappy that Viv departed and maybe wondered, what's so great about Mariona. Lottie, I'll give you this one because you were sort of referring to what's not fair. Do you think Mariona has finally silenced all the doubters that this was the correct decision?
For me, I was annoyed that Viv had been let go, but because there was no major amount of context out there as to why. And now I don't need the context because I can see I feel like we're playing a lot better than we did. Like we're back to that level when we had fully fit pre-ACL Vivian and Miedema. And a lot of people are going to probably come for me for that, and I really couldn't care less because I'm enjoying the football again. I'm not kind of wanting to wrap that number 10 sort of 9 up in cotton wool anymore because I know she's absolutely fine. And the chip says it all. The way she can cut and break lines, it's something that we've been missing for a very long time, and I'm loving every moment of it.
It's imagination and creativity. We just haven't had that. We haven't had any knowledge of how to do that. Do you think it's, again, hindsight's a wonderful thing, and you couldn't possibly have predicted how these players' fates would turned out, but given how what Viv her struggles at Manchester City has been with fitness and injuries, I mean she is back now and scored at the weekend against Manchester United. But do you think that has sort of made it easier to sort of accept Viv has gone? If Viv had been tearing up the league with Manchester City and scoring lots of goals, do you think there would have been more anger at the fan base thinking, why have we let this go
yeah, there'd be so
like
much
Van
more
Persie at Man United?
Yeah, it would have been worse, I think, because I feel women can hold a bit more of a grudge than a man can. I'm afraid. I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, no, I think also people. I think you need to remember, Adam, there's a lot of people out there who come to clubs. They don't support the club; they support players.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people have left the Arsenal fan base and gone to the City fan base, which there is absolutely nothing wrong with because that's how the women's game operates. But to me, don't make sense. Like I'm here to support the club. End of story. That's how. Cause I came over from men's football a few years ago, but that's just my opinion, and a lot of people probably won't like that. But it's a case of I support the club as much as I adore players. Linda Caicedo's on that list. She's over at Real Madrid.
The day when she rocks up at Arsenal, Linda Caicedo in an Arsenal shirt,
I'll cry. I will cry.
Actually, as we talk about Real Madrid, if Arsenal get Real Madrid in the Champions League quarterfinals, and we get Linda Caicedo at the carpet at Emirates Stadium in the Champions League, that's going to be something special.
It is. It's going to be so exciting because it's also a team I haven't seen Arsenal play at the carpet. Yeah. So I always get really excited when I see it. I get to watch another team play. It's like the Champions League round, Rangers and BK Haken.
We had Rangers, we had BK Haken in the playoffs, and we had Rosenborg in the. I think
them two. I went to those games purely on the basis that I haven't actually physically seen them play. So, and again, Haken again at home as well. Again, another team off my list. Like we're used to seeing the Wolfsburgs, the Barcelonas. Like I want to see other teams.
Yes.
So again, Real Madrid, can't wait.
If we draw them, I mean the draw I think's next month. I think so. It's bonkers that we still got to wait this long.
About a week.
Oh, great! Yeah, we are already near the end of.
It's 2 weeks on Sunday. 2 weeks on Sunday.
Well, this is actually just now reminded me of the thing I've been trying to remember. What was it I was going to actually ask you? So thanks for that. As we are almost at the end of the month, we've had a lot of outgoings. Molocal's gone to Roma. A lot of loans outgoing. Nobody has come in the door
yet.
There's as again, time recording 24th of January, but the clock is ticking. And if we came out of this window having not signed anyone to bring in, is that so much of a bad thing? As we're saying earlier about how talented our players are, do we actually need somebody this window?
Even if I said yes, I wouldn't even know where to begin, because I feel like we need someone to partner up with Kyra. As much as I love the Kimi combination, the Leah Volti combination, we need someone a bit younger to be there as well, just in case sort of thing, because we now don't have Katrine. No,
and Palova's obviously still out of it with a ACL.
Exactly. But once Vic's back, I don't think we'll have any problems. No. Unfortunately, we've seen a lot less of Kimi. I will say that, and I hate the fact that those words are coming out of my mouth right now. I hate it.
I do want to, because I think I'm not in a mad rush to get a player in, and there's an element of when you're seeing Man City buying exciting forwards, and you think, oh, we could do with one of those, but
they're overloaded.
They're overloaded, and we don't have any defenders.
Like, what are you going to do with Bunny Shaw? Golden boot winner. What are you going to do with her? She ain't going to stick around. She ain't getting minutes.
You've got Shaw and Miedemar and Carolyn and Fowler and Hemp and Kelly. Well, there's all sorts of noise.
Kelly's a question mark at this point.
There's all sorts of rumours where she might be going, but it's just it's very easy to look at the opposition and think, oh, they're signing great players. We're obviously doing nothing and we're rubbish.
That's one of the problems with social media. Oh, they're getting this, they're getting that, and it's like you look at what we've got and it's ticking along and it's clicking on the way it should be.
Yeah.
If Renee feels she needs to add something or something is missing, I trust her to make that decision. But if we don't get anybody, I won't be too fast.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm happy with the way we're ticking over. I mean, Alessia Russo's in the best form of her life. Yeah. It's the best form she's ever had, even from when she was at Man United.
I wouldn't mind if we didn't sign anyone. I mean, if we did like a last minute, like we did with Kyra Cooney-Cross, like the deadline day, suddenly bring in a star out of nowhere, I'm all for it.
Oh yeah, no, exactly.
But like, I wouldn't.
If there isn't anyone that Renee wants.
That's the thing. Is it someone you want or someone you need? If they're buying a player for the sake of buying a player, it's not worth it. And if we come away from this window, if we've been losing games and hemorrhaging points, and we lost to Crystal Palace or whatever, we've gone out of the FA Cup with injuries, 10 ACLs or whatever, then I'd say we need some players.
That's not going to happen. I can't believe you just said that.
But I'm exaggerating for the point of it's not going to happen. But if we had something like
touching wood,
yeah,
that it doesn't happen.
If it was like 2 years ago, I'd be like, we need players. We need players in. But we've got the depth now. We have depth in the team. We didn't have that before.
Yeah, the thing is, if you look back 2 seasons ago, we were plagued by ACLs.
Yeah,
so we had every right to moan, but right now we don't. And I'm not complaining. I'm just waiting for Vic to come back.
Yeah, same.
I miss Vic.
I really do too. I really think we've missed it this season. So now I don't think the window will be a failure if we don't bring anybody else in. And I think actually the youth we sent out there will benefit a lot from playing like Southampton and their London City Lionesses, and we'll come back.
Do you know what's really quite exciting about that? They're all gone to Championship sides.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
I think it's good.
I ask you this earlier.
No, I think it's good.
I didn't want to interrupt you.
No, I think it's great. I really like it, and I like it. And I mentioned this before. The other season, we dumped all our youth players at Watford because they're next door, which is just unambitious. And Watford were bottom of the league and they got relegated, but they're playing at competitive Championship clubs because the Championship is a very competitive league. It's woefully under coverage. Okay, it has a YouTube channel, so you can watch some of the highlights, and they do the occasion like it, but it's not on mainstream TV. And again, not to plug other podcasts, I was on another podcast, the Absolute Football Podcast, during the week, and they do cover the Championship in depth, and they do go for all the games. I think that's absolutely fantastic, and it's great there are people doing that. And I'm loving that they've gone to, they said Southampton said London City Lionesses, clubs that are punching upwards, especially London City Lionesses, who at the time recording are second place, but they are right on the shoulder of Birmingham City and could well be promoted in the season. So I think they're going to get a lot out of these loan deals, more so than before. And I think it's good to see that our setup at our club, I think, are more in tune with getting academy players out on proper loans and getting them proper experience. So looking forward to see how they do this season. As for us, as I said, Stamford Bridge, I wasn't there last time. I was actually on a family meal. So this is now going to be 2 trips to Stamford Bridge I've not watched on TV. I don't know how that's happened because I'm not watching it this weekend.
Yeah, I was questioning that.
Yeah, somehow I've managed to miss 2 away games on TV to Chelsea. How did that happen? You, however, Lottie, will be there, and you were there last time. So we'll rip off that plaster and reopen that old wound. 3-1 Chelsea, goal for Lauren James, a brace for Nuskin and Kat Macaria with an own goal, just to give us something to come home with. I've said before, that performance, I actually was angry watching it, watching what we were doing, what we weren't doing, and how we were playing, and just the shambolic nature of it all. For you, where did this rank in your Arsenal Hall of Infamy when it comes to performances? women or men and women. Obviously, you've seen a lot of men's games more than I, but
I've seen a lot of Arsenal Chelsea games over the years. Let's put it that way. It could probably go down in one of the worst performances I've seen
ever. Yeah. I mean, it's up there with.
My experience at Stamford Bridge is never positive, so I'm dreading Sunday. As many of you know, I was in Steph Catley's announcement video on my big nice big red flag with my old classic cannon on it. I got that confiscated off me last season.
Yeah.
And that particular flag, every time we've played Chelsea, I've had it with me and we've won. They took it off me.
Did you get it back?
Yes, I did get it back.
Oh, good.
It was ripped, and I've had to go and get it stitched. So I got that. It's been repaired for a while now, but I wasn't too happy. I'm a bit superstitious on the Lucky Charm side of things, but sock definitely didn't help. It was cold, and it was just listen to the Chelsea fans just sing one song down my head in.
I always find the Sockgate one weird because, again, someone who's gone through and watched a lot of old Arsenal Chelsea games, we always play in red socks when we play Chelsea. Almost, especially it is known.
I don't know what the kit man was finishing. I'm hoping we're going in our black kit next week. Then we have no well, not next week, Sunday.
Today,
Then we should have no problems. Because I like that black kit. We tend to have nice little wins in that black kit.
The Arsenal shirt collection actually posted. I think we're going red shirt and red socks. I think.
I hope so.
I hope get it right because I don't. Yeah, it'd be embarrassing if you have to go to the team gift shop again. Definitely one of the worst performances ever. Yeah. Up there with that FA Cup final performance and the 4-1 loss we suffered at Meadow Park back in 2020. But I think
to confirm we are wearing our home kit with red and white socks.
Oh yeah, so it's the socks we wear this season.
First choice, and with of course our first choice red socks.
Big socks.
And the yellow goalkeeper kit as well. I'm not a fan of that. I prefer the black one, to be honest.
34,000 tickets sold, we believe. Stamford Bridge has a 42,000 capacity stadium, so it should be a decent crowd. I think it'll be higher than, because last time I was looking at earlier, 32,970 last season. So it looks like it's going to be a stronger crowd. And whatever you may think of Chelsea and the team and the club, etc., I think that's absolutely fantastic. And I think it's great that they are using their Stamford Bridge a bit more, their main stadium a bit more, and I think it's going to be a cracking game. Should note actually, since we last played Chelsea, again ripping over an old wound, it was Jonas' last game in charge. First time we'd lost at home at Emirates Stadium to Chelsea. Both sides have been unbeaten. We've actually mirrored each other. We've won all but one of our games. We've both only dropped 2 points away from home, and that's it. Which sort of shows just how good Renee really has been, is that she's matched Sonia Bombasta basically move for move up until this point. We are 24 points, Chelsea on 31, so we're 7 points behind. Is the title race already over? And if it isn't, would it be if we lost at the weekend?
I don't want to talk about losing, to be honest. I want to win it. I go into every game with the mindset, I want the points, I want to win it, and we like.
Okay. Let me flip the question.
The team 100%.
If we win, is the title race back on? Or is it? Or can we? It'd be down to 4 points, but could we because we have no more games against Chelsea, so we're relying on Chelsea dropping points. Do you think?
Well, we will play Chelsea if we get through. Let's face it, they're not going to lose to West Ham, to be honest. In the cup, so we will play them again.
Oh no, in the league, we won't have any more. We won't be able to get any more points off them.
Yeah.
So, in that sense, do you still? Could we, if we beat Chelsea the weekend, which would be amazing? Do you think we can catch them?
Possibly, but we've got a tricky run coming up, and I'm just not overly confident because 2nd of Feb, we play Wednesday night, play Bristol City in the cup.
Yeah.
Nah. We've got City in the league.
Yeah.
And then that's it for this sort of stretch.
Yeah.
It's a case of
because we got Manchester United at home, our last game of the season. between Manchester City and Manchester United, you think as a run, they're all winnable games, or games that Arsenal should win rather.
Yeah, no. Once we get past City, I think we've got an easy run till May. I'm not complaining about that, but it's just a case of it can go either way when we're playing City and Chelsea back to back, and we've seen it before, and it just makes me hesitant. Are we going to be able to do this? I'm not too worried. I'm like, because of the stretch of games we've had, we've been playing every 2-3 days. Yeah. By the time we get to the City Football Academy ground, are we going to be okay? Like, even if in theory we beat Chelsea, all right? We've then got to go on to play Bristol, which is another 90 minutes, and a few days later we're away in Manchester before the international break. Well, no, the breaks after we play City for a second time. On the
League Cup, yeah.
So sorry, that's not on the fixtures. I've got the fixtures in front of me. So it's a tricky one. It is a really tricky one. I don't know how to answer it.
Do we make the call after the international break? I think after when we get through the run.
I think I want to ask me that question again after we play City the second time, and then I'll come back to you.
That's fair enough. I'll for me, looking at the league table, we're second, which is great. I mean, being second place, if you offered me that, and when Jonas was looking like a face like a dripping tap in the like a mournful puppy in the dugout, just looking on to where we are now. Admittedly, it's on goal difference. Man United are just behind us. Man City have fallen away a bit. They're 2 points behind. I would see the win less about chasing down Chelsea, because if I'm brutally honest and I'm pessimist, I think that Chelsea probably are too far away. But I think that we need the win more so, because I think we need to escape the chasing pack, because I think we can get second. But we need to be able to do is pull away from the Manchester clubs.
Second. Yeah. Because apart from, I don't want to say this, but apart from Man United, we've got no other big club to play.
Yeah, Man City, Man United, and that's it.
After this break, we play Spurs, and then it's all bottom of the half table teams.
Yeah, pretty much.
All the way through, home and away. So we've got the tough part out after this last stretch. I think.
My hope is in 2018-19. This is going back a bit, but Arsenal a similar situation where they started the year with an away trip a home game against Chelsea, and just before Christmas. They'd had an away trip to Manchester City, so that was sort of like at the halfway point. They had the two tough games, and they lost both of them. But what then meant was that the last game of the season was a home game against Manchester City. They just had a run that they knew they could just win every game, and it meant that by the time they got to the home game against Manchester City, they'd already won the league. So the last game became a non-entity, and I'm hoping for something similar here, that if we can get through this rough patch with a couple of points. I don't think we'll get 6, but if we got 3, 4,
I'd gladly take 4 at this point.
Yeah, get 4. If you get 3 or 4 points out of that, you think, right, sprint finish, go for it. Let's see where we finish. And I don't think first, but I definitely think second. And then if you can combine that with a trip to Wembley, you have to say, Rene be bonkers, because Chelsea could win, say, the league at a canter. They could maybe go unbeaten. Yeah. But hard to say.
Do you mean a trip to Derby?
Oh, trip to Derby. I said, trip to Derby, trip to Wembley. We did a lot of it.
Continue.
Yeah. But would you say, considering where Rene took from where Arsenal were to where they got to potentially, you'd say that she's probably done as good a job as someone like Sonia. But wait to see.
She has, because our only loss of the season has come from Mariona Sideable.
In the league.
The game since.
Yeah.
Because at the moment, same as Man United, we've both played 11, won 7, drew 3, and lost 1.
Which is just, it's bonkers.
The only thing that's keeping us in second at the minute is the goal difference. So we've got to continue this run, because Man United and Man City are on our tails, very close.
They are, but I think we can shake them. I don't think they will be able to stay the course. But at the same time, it's on us to ensure that, because if we start dropping points as well, it's pointless. So if we can be consistent, I don't think they'll be consistent enough, and I think we have a chance. But
I think it's to continue the consistency, because we've got that. You can't deny that. Once we've got consistency,
this is the most consistent we've been since I think when Joe Montemurro was in charge and when Viv was in a pomp, where we were just winning constantly. So I'm really excited for that. We start obviously this tough run in the year is of course Chelsea away. So predictions. We did actually not too badly with the Brighton one, because we did say that Rosa would start, and she did, and we did say that from my experience, I said Katie Reid would start. She did. Marnie did start. The back to Lotta and Laia, Kadina, they all started. Katie started. So I think we had a pretty good hit record. I think the only one we slipped up on was that we thought that Stina might start, and she didn't. So based on that, I mean, it's going to be a change to, because I mean, I know we said in the Brighton game, we can play any team, we should win, but it told me a lot that we needed Mariona coming off the bench to sort of not save the game, but just give us an extra oomph. So, I mean, she's going to start
creativity boost.
Yeah, we're lacking that in the first half. So this Chelsea game, Mariona's got to start, hasn't she, right from the off?
Yeah, straight away. I don't want to see her on the bench at all. Nowhere near that bench. She needs to be on that pitch for 90 minutes.
So
she's sort of the puppet master that pulls up the strings for me at the moment. Apart from Renee, who doesn't know what to do.
Well, yeah, she's puppeteering the puppeteer. So DVD obviously goes back in goal. So defensively, I mean, how would you do
it? Leah and Steph in the middle. Fox, Kate and Kate.
It just
there's no on the back four. Because at the moment, when you have Steph and Katie back side by side, they sort of cover each other's faults. When we were at the Bridge last year, Kate got torn a new one, Steph got torn a new one, and it was just like they balance each other out. So I want to see that there, especially with, I think Lucy Bronze comes up on that side, or is it the other one?
I just try to remember actually. Did it's that game you mentioned at Stamford Bridge and Greybrook, because I just remember back to it because they had biblically appalling games at the back. I think Katie McCabe at right back, and then Katie left. So Fox did.
Yeah,
because this was the there was the cup, wasn't it? It was the
the US competition over somewhere.
Yeah, so
we didn't have Emily Fox at the time, so this is Emily's first time at the Bridge. And it's something they probably won't know how to deal with, which I'm quite looking forward to.
Unless Emma Hayes has been like secretly passing them notes from back. By the way, guys, Arsenal actually got a good player that I know quite well. Just keep an eye on her. I think Fox definitely right back.
Not well enough yet.
Yeah, Fox at right back, absolutely.
The main problem for us is going to be Lucy Bronze upsetting Katie McCabe, because she likes to wind people up and press buttons, and
that is the thing.
That's the person's target, I'm afraid.
Well, quick question, Fox. Sorry, McCabe. Does she get a stupid yellow?
Oh yeah, it's Chelsea. It's a derby.
Yeah, and her former club that she's
supported. What kind of question is that?
Ex Chelsea fan Katie McCabe, going back to the club of her youth. I'm sure she'll love it. I think the back four picks itself, and I think that would be a better back four than the one we shaped up with, which, if I recall correctly, I said at that time Lotta Wibben-Moy was the best defender on the night, and she's the one that's actually going to be missing out, and she's the one that's not going to be playing in all probability.
But it's a case of our best combination at the minute is Leah and Steph.
Midfield, do you start Kyra or do you go Leah Velty or Kim Little? Because I know what I'd do.
I want to say Kyra and Kim, purely because of the precautions on Leah Velty. Although I think if I was running, I'd put Leah and Kimmy there.
If they're all fully fit, assuming they're all fully fit, who would you go for?
Leah and Kimmy.
Yeah.
Experience.
I want to give Kyra that game. I want to give her that game so much because she's playing so well. She's got her first goal again for us in the Brighton game. And I just think if you believe that Kyra Cooney-Cross is the future in Arsenal's midfield, you have to trust her in a game like Chelsea away. At some point, you can't think, we'll just play her for the easy games and then we'll bring our other midfielders in. Because at some point, she's going to have to play away at Chelsea if she's the future. So you got to, and I'm curious.
That's why initially I said Kyra and Kim.
Yeah. But I think
that was my first initial thoughts because of the Leah situation. But do you know what? I'm going to stick with Kyra and Kim. I'm just going to go with my gut feeling.
Because this is the thing, despite saying that, and I do believe that, I believe that Kyra should start, I would still think, I want to play it safe and go Kim and Leah. Because I know that I trust it.
It's
like
safe. It's the safer thing, but
it's putting on that warm jacket.
I don't care if it's precautionary. Kyra and Kim.
I wouldn't be surprised if Kim and Leah are the pivot, but I would love to see Kyra have a go. And if she shines in a game like that, if she goes up another level and is brilliant in that midfield, then you'd have to. I mean, what it does mean is if you have Leah or Kim on the bench, you have a fantastic midfield option on the bench for a situation, which we saw against Brighton. We could bring Kim Little off the bench, brilliant. So we'll go. So that's a pivot 2. The 3 across the attack.
We're going to look at the 10.
The 3, as in including the 10, and then
okay.
So, the 2 wingers and the 10, because it's a 4-2-3-1.
Okay.
Now, Beth Mead started against Brighton, came off just stopped second half for Mariona. We said Mariona's going to start, so we'll start with her. Where do you put her, on the wing or at the 10?
10.
Mariona 10.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the 10. I'm sorry, Frida, but no, actually, do you know what? I'll put her on the wing because she floats anyway. Let's go for the wing.
So Mariona on the wing.
Yeah.
So who are your other 2?
Frida. It's my Miss Smiley. Russo.
Russo's the lead. Yep.
Yep. And I'm really sorry, Beth, but it's going to be Caitlin Ford.
Yeah, same. But I think that's fascinating because we know that Beth Mead is really good against Chelsea.
Yes. I want her off the bench when they're getting tired. When Lucy Bronze is prone to making her mistakes. That's when I want Beth Mead.
That is a very good point, actually.
Because she can make those runs. She can outsmart her. And it's like, appreciate how much of a baller Lucy Bronze is, all that kind of jazz for England. But this is domestic football. Yeah. Beth Mead's the person that's going to get past her.
I like the idea of off the bench, a bit like at Manchester City at home when she came off the bench and obviously got the goal. But I find it fascinating because you said Russo lead, so Stina again a bench option. But we had this discourse, and I felt it for a long time, and maybe that was at the start of the season, but might have been more, as it's turned out, a Jonas thing. That the idea of Russo and Frida were somehow incompatible. It didn't seem like it could work. It seemed like just 2 players who just had no synergy, and Jonas could never find that synergy. And yet Renee has. Would you say? Do you think it works now?
I think Renee has, but it's a case of having the right number 10, or not the right number 10. I'd say having Mariona on the pitch
as well.
She's that missing ingredient for me, and that's how when it works, sort of thing. For a long time, I was definitely one of those people complaining, saying this does not work, this does not work, this does not work. But he kept trying and trying and trying. But there was just that spark that was missing, and that spark is Mariona.
On the other subject, which is Beth, because I agree, I would start Ford. I'll probably start her on the right. I'll put probably Mariona on the left. I'll put Frida at the 10. But dropping Beth, it's something which a few seasons ago would have been inexplicable. Even we're just saying, but it is a bench option. But you say, no, you would start Beth. What do you think the future is for Beth?
I don't know. I don't know. The first women's shirt I bought was Beth Mead.
Yeah, same. Same.
I don't know.
Love her to bits, but
I do. I don't know, but it's.
Don't know. You don't want to.
Teams evolving, and if you. I don't want to say it. I'm not saying it.
Yeah.
The team's evolving, and people's roles will change. She's not the player that she was at the Euros. She just isn't.
She has. Yeah. I'm not saying she's not bad by any means, but
I'm not saying that at all. But she's just not at that level at the moment.
At the Euros, she was.
Justify her to keep starting.
Yeah. I mean, that Euros run and afterwards, she was voted almost the second best player in the world. Just behind Lexi Patea. She was on a level I've never seen. I've limited experience. I've since gone back and watched a lot of clips, but that sort of season, that first Jonas season and the Euros, and I know the motivations for why Mead played at that level, and they are understandable and very respectful, and it really showed. It's just sad that it feels like it's like a fleeting, like on a, the only way I can describe
it's just sad that it's dropped off.
It's for me, and this is a really weird analogy, it's like overtaking on the motorway. You go on the outside lane, but then she's just now come back into the middle lane again and gone back down to 70 or something, and she can't find that extra gear again to go up to up that other level, and it is sad. She's a very good player, but I think her contract is up at the end of this season, so Arsenal and Beth have got a big decision to make. Is can she play at the level? Will she be able to play at the level required? And she could come on against Chelsea, have a player of the match, a sub of the match display, and prove us all wrong. But it's just something I think, just something I was wondering. She's been here since 2017. She's been here for a while.
Yeah.
All journeys must end soon, so we'll see what happens there. But I think it's very interesting that you say off the bench. But I would start forward. I think forward's been brilliant. She was brilliant off the bench against Crystal Palace, which may be big, but. I also want to tap into this. Rene as a manager now. Crystal Palace brings Ford off the bench. Brighton brings Mariona off the bench. This is showing actually Rene is actually a very tactically, very aware, proactive manager. Not can see the problems and is very good sort of problem fixer in game and says, right, I know what player I need to fix this. Puts Ford on, boom. Arsenal get 3 goals or 3-4 goals and they're done. Against Brighton and Mariona's in on the pitch, boom, 3 goals, 4 goals. Arsenal are there. So is it just player quality, or is that actually a sign of Rene's actually got that football intelligence that maybe Jonas did have as well?
I don't want to say this in the Jonas sentence. Sometimes I question him all the way.
Yeah.
But with Rene, she understands how to rotate properly and manage minutes, because a lot of our girls are starters for their countries on an international break. You can guarantee Emily Fox, Beth Mead, Alessia Russo will be doing majority of the minutes for on the international break. So managing the minutes now while we've got big games coming up, it's the perfect way to sort of rest them, but also not let them stop playing. So I think she's doing the right job. Although some fans won't understand it because they want to see their favourite players play every single time, but it's just not going to happen.
No,
I do think that the care of the players is what we want as fans, and then is what the club has to do to look after the players.
I think that's a very good point. I think Rene is more, as a person, is more in tune with the players mentally than Jonas ever was. I'm not saying that's like a bad thing. It's just it's not saying Jonas was a bad person. It's just not. It was never one of his skills in his armory. Just never had that. And Rene has that, and that's working wonders.
I think it helps with the experience of being a player at that level as well.
Yes, I do.
Which is always a bonus.
Yeah. We'll wrap up with a quick score prediction. So, Lottie, how optimistic do you want to be?
I'm going to stress myself out and go for 3-2 Arsenal.
Oh, it's so predictable.
I'm sorry, but it's Guru Brighton. I'm sorry.
3-2 to Arsenal, 3-2 to Chelsea.
Arsenal? Be serious.
Arsenal.
I did say 3-2 to Arsenal.
Okay, I'm sorry, I missed that. I'm going, because you said 3, I did 2-3 or whatever. I'm saying 1-1. I'm going a 1-1 draw. And if it goes
draw, really?
Actually, 0-0 draw. The last time I went to a Chelsea away game at Kingsmeadow. Arsenal Chelsea.
My blood pressure's just hit the roof. What?
Arsenal versus Chelsea Kingsmeadows. Last time I went to a Chelsea away game and it finished 0-0, and it was one of the best 0-0s I've ever watched. It was a thriller-minute roller coaster, heart pounding. Just any team could have won it. It was one of the best 0-0s I've ever been to. But I think it'd be a draw. And I think if we came away from Stamford Bridge with a 1-1 draw, I think Rene could be very and the club and the fans would think that was a pretty good performance. Because historically we've got nothing since 2018 when we won 5-0. We've had 1 point out of an away trip to Chelsea. I mean,
yeah, but the difference being is we've got Mariona Cardente in the Arsenal now.
Well, maybe she'll be the difference.
Pardon, that was a very bad pun.
Yeah.
To use Arsenal. Sorry.
Maybe she will be the difference this time around. We'll see. We shall see. Before we say farewell, just a quick shout out, Lottie, for your socials. I know you're not on Twitter anymore, but you can be found elsewhere.
I am on Blue Sky at Lottie AWFC, or I am running the VAW Pod Instagram / Twitter account.
Excellent, and do give that a follow, and you can find all our when all our episodes are set to air, and you can find us obviously on YouTube if you're on Apple and Spotify podcast. And if you want to follow my ramblings, if you enjoyed hearing me mumble my way through an hour talking about Arsenal, you can find me at Adam_Salter4 on Twitter and Instagram, and at AdamSalter4 on Blue Sky. I'm also posting stuff about the Arsenal history and writing with the Arsenal Women Archive and the Halfway Line, so do give those a follow as well. Well, that's it. That's the end of the episode. It's a big one. It's going to be a hard one. It's going to be a tough one. I'm thankfully not going to be watching it because I'm going to be busy working. Lottie will be suffering along at Stamford Bridge.
In the lower shed. Yes.
The lower shed. Yes. So I look forward to seeing the results when I come back in, and hopefully it's a positive result for the Arsenal. Come on, you Gunners.